so many of you have been asking where the CAMRY is, what's happening with the CAMRY, do you still own the CAMRY, did you sell the CAMRY? But no, that is actually not the case. She's sitting right there, and in today's video, we'll be installing a 12-inch Auxbeam LED light bar on the CAMRY. So the company Auxbeam was kind enough to send me the LED light bar as well as the wiring harness so I could easily install it. I highly recommend getting the wiring harness as you'll probably need that. It'll make the install 100 times easier and will save you a lot of hassle. Both of the parts will be down in the description so you can purchase them yourselves. Anyway, let's get crack-a-lackin' and I'll show you what's in the box. Alright, so here's the box itself. Got all the information. Auxbeam LED light bar, 12-inch, 72 watts, 7,200 lumens. It's also IP67 water resistant, I believe, and it has a very nice 6000K color. It's also waterproof up to 3 meters, I believe. And there we go, there's the light bar. It's just sitting right here. Okay, so pretty simple so far. And wow, this feels really premium. It's a whole metal build, no plastic whatsoever. It feels like mounting points floating around in there. And this is what you will receive if you do not get the wiring harness. This is just the 2 positive and negative connections. Alright, so we've also got some contact information, some mounting instructions, some Auxbeam stickers. Always love stickers, can chuck that right on the CAMRY. And obviously some hardware. Alright, so we also got the wiring harness as well. Obviously some instructions. And it looks like it even comes with a on and off switch and a very long wire, so you'll be able to mount this straight right next to your dashboard. Easy as that. I'm going to start by removing my bumper. Alright, so I've got the bumper off for the first time, never taken it off before. Looks very nice actually. Here's the foam piece for the bumper just sitting there, and there's my bumper just sitting over there while my dad's washing the car. So I can see this big bash bar here, which I'm probably gonna mount it on. The only problem that I'll be having is getting it onto the right spot where it shines through the little slits of the actual bumper itself. So taking off the bumper literally takes like 15 minutes. It's a total of 6 screws on the bottom, 2 on top, and I think 2 clips in the middle. Not too difficult on the Toyota Camry. So yeah, hopefully we can mount it something like that. I'll probably have to zip tie it on, put the bump back on to see how it looks, and we'll go from there. So what I've done is lined up everything and sticky taped it in place to where I think I'm going to mount it. So I've just got everything all centered up, and I'm just going to put the bumper back on temporarily to see if it shines through these little grooves on the bumper. So I've got the bumper pretty much lined up to where it should be sitting, and right here we can see that the light just needs to come down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some self-tapping screws, pretty much drill them directly into the bash bar. Then I'm going to cut these little bits out so the light can shine fully through. So what I've done is I've bought some self-tapping screw bits, and I'm going to use just regular nuts for spaces because I couldn't find any spaces that had the same diameter as these. Hopefully there's not too much play and we'll get a good fitment. Alright, so I've just completed putting one mount in. You can kind of see that it's a bit dodgy with all these nuts as spaces, but it's in very sturdy. That's not going anywhere, and I'm just completing this second one in. I'm just tapping it in right now. We're getting this in. It's slowly going in, so we're doing well. Okay, so we've got it down to the preferred height, but we're having some clearance issues here. I'm gonna have to chop the bumper out a little bit because it won't fully secure on. I'm also gonna be cutting this bit out too to make sure that the light shines fully through. Fuck. Alright, so I have everything installed now, and here's the wiring harness. It might look a bit intimidating at first. Over here we've got 2 of these wires. So these 2 wires right here, the ones with heat shrink around them, go straight over onto the positive and negative terminals of the light itself. The next cable is the switch cable, just over here. That'll be mounted inside the car, so we have to put that through the firewall. And the last 2 things are these pieces right here. So this will be on the positive side of the battery and the negative side of the battery. It's as simple as that. The only hard thing is probably just putting them through the firewall and making sure everything looks stock. So the first thing I'm going to do is put these around the battery. Alright, so we've got the two wires just sticking out where the LED is, and the next part is to connect these two bits with the heat shrink. Alright, so this light's now on, so when I push this, the LEDs come on. Very nice. All I need to do now is put this somewhere in the car somehow, going through the firewall. I've had to switch to my phone because my battery's dead. So I've got everything pulled apart here, and we can see all the wires and all this crap in the way, but we're trying to look for the hole, or a hole, for this to slit through. So I'm pretty confident that this is just a wiring harness hole, so I'm just going to pull this apart and hopefully I'm able to feed this wire through. Just disconnect that and feed it through. Fingers crossed, because this is taking ages. So this is where I have the switch for the LED. I've just wired everything through behind the steering wheel, behind the head unit, and also behind the glove box. It comes in all the way from there, and I've wired it all the way in through to here. So if you click this, you can see that it's red right now. If you click that, that means it is on. If you click this, that means it's off. Here's also the wiring. I've pretty much just hit everything down here, put bits of tape, just preventing the wire from like coming off and swiveling around in the engine. I've actually also cut through the firewall. This is where the wire comes in. Obviously it's going to be different for every car, but this is what I did, and I know that most of you guys are Toyota Camry owners anyway, so hopefully that's helpful. Anyway guys, pretty easy install. Like I said, I've never installed anything like this before, never installed any sort of aftermarket light bar, so I don't really know much, and it was pretty easy to do. You know, all I did was mount everything up and use the wiring harness to wire everything in. Okay, so it's been around 24 hours since I installed the Auxbeam light bar, and I can tell you this, it really does make a difference at night time. I have it mounted in a position that's not optimal for its use. I've got it mounted on the underside of a Camry. Like if you had a truck and you installed it on that, it would definitely be a great help if you're doing driving in the mountains at night, or pretty much any sort of use that's like off-road. But yeah, the overall install was very easy. I did not have much trouble at all. Like the biggest issue was, you know, trying to find a place where to get the wire in from the actual harness itself into the car. Obviously that's going to be different for every car, so that's not Auxbeam's fault. I'll go through while I'm editing and show you guys some of the night shots of the car driving past the night. It really does make a difference. It shines everything up and gives you heaps of visibility, which is cool. Now Auxbeam obviously has a lot of other products on their website that could suit your car better than the one that I have, so definitely go check out all their products and select something that you prefer for your car if you're planning on doing any sort of light modifications. So we're just out here driving now, just with the lights on, including the LED light bar, and it is just, it's so bright. It's like driving in the daytime. You can see all the way up over there, over to the sides. Obviously there's no cars coming, so I can have this on. So again, this is without the LED light bar on, and that's with the light bar on. Massive throw of light. So this is what it looks like outside the car, just extremely bright. Just got my dad driving it now, and you can see it's pretty much lighting up the whole street. I'd like to say a big thank you to Auxbeam Lighting for sending me out both the 12-inch LED light bar as well as the wiring harness. For people that do want to install the light bar themselves, make sure you do get the wiring harness because it is a massive help. It comes with a fuse and everything, so if anything does short out, it's not going to kill your whole entire car, and it just makes the install much easier, and you don't need to mess around with any sort of wiring. So again, I'll leave both of the products down in the description below so you can purchase them yourselves. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.